I turned 18 on a night that felt colder inside the house than out on the Des Moines street. The stale cupcake in front of me still had its single candle burning when Seraphine Doyle pushed a stack of papers across the table. "Sign away your claim to the Rowan Trust," she said, her voice low and sharp. "Or you can leave this house right now." Victor, my father, stood behind her. His hands hung useless at his sides, his eyes fixed on the floor. Kellen, my stepbrother, leaned back in his chair and lifted his phone like he was filming a prank. "It is only $2.3 million, Kellen said. "Be reasonable for once." I pushed the papers back. "I am not signing anything." Seraphine's smile vanished. "Then gather your things. You are done here. Mom, let me throw her out." Kellen muttered. "No," she said. "She can walk." Victor finally whispered. "Astra, please do not make this harder." Harder than being thrown out on my birthday? My voice cracked, but I kept standing. Seraphine opened the front door. Cold air flooded the hallway. 8 minutes, she said. "That is all I'm giving you." I stuffed what I could into my backpack and stepped outside before she finished counting. The door slammed behind me, cutting off the only family I had left. Snow pellets stung my face as I stood on the sidewalk, gripping my backpack straps. My breath shook, but I forced my voice steady as I pulled out my phone. "If you're listening from somewhere cold tonight," I said quietly, "stay with my story. Sometimes the people who break you are the ones meant to be left behind." I walked without knowing where I was going, the sleet tapping against my hood. My fingers were already numb when I reached the corner of Willow and 6th, where Maeve Corbin sat on her usual piece of cardboard. Her coat was thin, patched with tape, her eyes too alert for someone living on the street. "You are out late, child," she said. "It is my birthday," I whispered. "I got kicked out." Maeve let out a soft breath. Not pity recognition. I pulled out the last $7 from my pocket and slipped it into her tin cup. Her hand shot out and gripped my wrist. "Do not sleep where they expect. Not the shelters. Not Riverbend Park. Not anywhere familiar." I froze. "Maeve, what are you talking about?" "There is a boy," she said. "Nice jacket. Expensive shoes. He watches you walk. He watches where you stop." Her eyes narrowed, haunted. I know that look. I survived it once. A cold pulse moved through my chest. What should I do? Find a cheap motel tonight? Pay cash? Lock the door? Come back to me in the morning? She squeezed my wrist once. Firm, "I have something that will save your life." The Blue Pines Inn buzzed with a broken neon sign when I pushed through the lobby door. The clerk barely looked up. "Cash only," he said. "I have $42. I whispered. He slid me a key without counting. Room 22. The hallway smelled of bleach and old smoke. I locked the door twice, shoved the dresser against it, and sat on the edge of the bed with my backpack still on my shoulders. My hands would not stop shaking. In the silence, Seraphine's voice echoed in my head. 8 minutes. I pulled out my phone. No missed calls. Not from Victor. Not from anyone. The next morning, I walked back toward Willow and 6th. Maeve was already there, sipping from a paper cup someone had given her. "You lived through the night," she said. "Because of you." Maeve tapped the cardboard beside her. "Sit. Tell me what happened inside that house." I sat. My throat tightened. They wanted me to sign away $2.3 million. Maeve's eyes darkened. "Then it is worse than I thought." By the end of my first week working nights at Speedy Mart, exhaustion felt like a second skin. I cut through Riverbend Commons Park on my way back to the motel, the same path I always took when I was too tired to think. But this morning, yellow tape snapped in the wind. 2 investigators crouched near a line of blackened benches, scraping at the soot. One glanced at me. "Park is closed." Someone torched half the place. My breath caught. Was anyone hurt? Not that we found, he said. But whoever slept here would have been. 2 separate pour patterns. Someone planned this. I stared at the burned metal frames. That exact bench had been my backup when I could not afford room 22. My palms went cold. A familiar voice called my name. Astra Riley Arden jogged toward me, still in her diner apron. Her eyes widened as she took in the scene. I have been driving these streets every morning looking for you. She grabbed my arm. This is not bad luck. Someone did this on purpose. I stepped back. I cannot pull you into this. You already are, she said. And I am not leaving you alone in it. I found Maeve exactly where she always sat, tucked beneath the flickering street lamp like she had been waiting for me. She looked me over once. You saw the fire. They burned the benches. I said. The ones I used. Maeve. They knew. She nodded slowly. I told you someone was watching. She reached into the layers of her coat. Her movements careful, deliberate. 3 weeks ago. I saw a boy circling this block. Nice jacket. Clean shoes. Eyes that never stopped measuring distance. A chill moved across my shoulders. Kellen? I whispered. Maeve placed a tiny black USB drive in my hand. I bought a camera from a pawn shop. Solar-powered. Mounted it on the lamppost across from the bench you favored. Her voice thinned. I did it because I recognized that boy's stare. My son wore it the night he tried to poison me for an insurance payout. My fingers tightened around the drive. Maeve, why would you go this far for me? She studied my face with something like grief. Because no one saved me, and I will not watch another child walk into the same dark. I swallowed hard. What is on this proof? She said. Watch it alone. Then decide what comes next. Back in room 22. I locked the door, dragged the dresser against it, and opened my cracked laptop. My hands shook as I plugged in the USB. One video file. I clicked play. Night vision grain lit up the screen. 2 figures walked into Riverbend Commons Park, carrying red fuel cans. When the taller one lifted his phone toward the lamppost, the glow hit his face. Kellen Doyle. My pulse hammered. His friend whispered, You sure this thing does not pick up faces? Kellen laughed under his breath. Relax. She will never make it to her signing day. He unscrewed the cap and poured fuel across the benches. Every place I had slept when room 22 was out of reach. His friend followed, splashing fuel along the grass. Kellen checked his phone again. The message on the screen came from Seraphine Doyle. If she dies before acceptance, the trust reverts. Do it clean. Victor is too weak to know anything. My breath locked in my chest. Kellen smirked. Mom says once she's gone, Dad will finally stop worrying about her. He struck a match. Flames snapped alive across the soaked wood. I watched the entire thing twice, unable to move. Every second confirmed what Maeve had feared. They had not just tried to scare me away. They had planned to erase me. My phone buzzed. Riley's name glowed on the screen. Where are you? She said the moment I answered. Room 22. I whispered. I need you to come now. Riley arrived at the Blue Pines Inn in less than 15 minutes, still wearing her diner apron. The moment she stepped inside, room 22, she stopped cold. Astra, what is this? I pressed play without answering. Kellen's laugh filled the room again. Seraphine's message glowed across the screen. Riley covered her mouth with her hand, her eyes flooding. They were going to kill you, she whispered. This is not something we can handle alone. I swallowed. So, what do? We take it to the police, she said. Tonight, at the Des Moines Police Department. Detective Jackson Creed met us in a small interview room. He was calm, deliberate, the kind of man who noticed everything without announcing it. Show me the footage, he said. Riley slid the laptop toward him. Creed watched the entire video without blinking, then rewound to the moment Seraphine's message lit up the screen. He leaned forward, You have the trust documents I handed him, the folded copy Seraphine had thrown at me the night she kicked me out. Creed read the clause once. Then again, "All right," he said. "Sit tight." The next hours blurred into questions, signatures, and verification. By late afternoon, Creed returned. "We have enough," he said. "A warrant has been issued. Kellen Doyle will be in custody before midnight." Riley squeezed my hand under the table. I let her. It was the first time all week I felt my lungs fully fill with air. 3 nights after Kellen's arrest, I worked the closing shift at Speedy Mart. At 11 past midnight, the last customer left, and I locked the doors. Riley waited in her car at the edge of the lot, waving for me to hurry. I never made it to her. A black Suburban rolled in fast and cut me off. The window lowered. A man in a dark windbreaker leaned out, silent, his face half hidden. He extended a phone toward me. Seraphine's voice came through the speaker, low and venomous. "Astra, withdraw every charge. Sign the trust over to Victor. Do it, and this ends. If you keep pushing, there will not be a second warning." My pulse clawed at my ribs. The man watched me without blinking. I reached into my apron with shaking fingers and hit the first speed dial Detective Creed had programmed into my phone. "Detective, I am in the Speedy Mart East lot," I said loudly. "A black Suburban, Iowa plate starting with Sierra 5. Your suspect is delivering a threat on behalf of Seraphine Doyle." The man flinched. Creed's voice cut in immediately. "Astra, stay exactly where you are. Units are en route." The Suburban's engine roared. Tires screeched as the driver reversed hard, clipped a dumpster, and tore toward the highway ramp. Riley sprinted across the lot. "Get in the car." Before I could speak, sirens rose in the distance, growing louder, sharper, closer. And for the first time, I knew this fight was no longer happening in the shadows. Detective Creed called the next morning. We intercepted the Suburban on the interstate. The driver confessed. "Seraphine hired him to threaten you. Her bail has been revoked." Riley drove me to the First Interstate Trust and Wealth Office in silence. My hands would not stay still. The trust officer, a composed woman in a navy suit, guided me into a private room and placed a thick folder on the table. "These are the final acceptance documents," she said. "Once you sign, the full $2.3 million transfers to a protected account under your name only." I breathed once, steadying my hand, and wrote Astra Win Cade in clean black ink. The scanner beeped. It was done. Riley exhaled. "You did it." But the moment we stepped outside, my phone rang. Victor's name blinked on the screen. When I answered, his voice shook. "Astra, please, just hear me out." I met him in the motel lobby. He looked smaller than I remembered. Hair uncombed, shirt wrinkled, eyes red. He dropped to his knees before I could step aside. "Seraphine and Kellen went too far. I never wanted you hurt. I only wanted this family to stay together." I stood frozen. "You watched her throw me out. You knew exactly what she planned. I thought it would scare you. I did not think they would burn anything." His voice cracked. "I am begging you. Do not destroy us. You destroyed it yourself," I said quietly. All I had to do was survive. 2 officers appeared behind him. Creed had sent them, and Victor knew it. He let them lift him to his feet, his voice breaking as they led him out. The courtroom was nearly empty when Seraphine and Kellen were brought in for sentencing. Chains on their wrists rattled in the silence. Seraphine lifted her chin when she saw me, defiant, but her eyes flickered. The trust attorney stepped forward with a new document. "Your Honor, the court should enter the amendment made by the late Cassian Codd." He read aloud, "If Astra Win Cade dies or refuses the trust before the signing date, The entire corpus shall transfer to the Cassian Cade Foundation for Abused Youth. No member of the Doyle family may receive funds under any circumstance. Seraphine's composure shattered. What? No. That money. It was never yours, I said, my voice steady. Her face twisted, fury breaking into disbelief as the judge delivered the sentences 15 years for Seraphine, 7 for Kellen, with automatic transfer to adult custody at 21. The gavel's final thud echoed through the room, not loud, but final. A week after the sentencing, I moved Maeve Corbin into a private room at Starlight Horizons Assisted Living. When she stepped onto the garden path in real shoes instead of plastic bags, she stopped and covered her mouth. "I never thought I would feel ground this way again," she said. "You earned it." I told her. "You saved my life." Maeve touched my cheek, her hand warm for the first time since I met her. "No, child, you saved mine, too." I got to change the ending this time. Later that evening, Riley and I carried boxes into the small house I had bought on Maple Grove Lane. She dropped her keys on the counter and grinned. "Feels strange," she said. "Living somewhere no one can hurt us." "It feels right," I answered. We painted the living room walls together, strokes landing uneven and bright. Riley nudged me with her shoulder. "You know people are going to want to hear this story," she said. "The real one." I looked at the fresh paint, the open windows, the soft hum of a place that finally felt safe. "If someone else out there needs to hear it," I said softly, "tell them to stay with me. Tell them to share their city, their story, whatever kept them going. Kindness finds its way back." Riley smiled. "Then let's help it find them."